Hello and welcome to another one of these ADD videos. Today we're going to be looking at the rectangular coordinate system and some basic linear concepts and equations. So first, we're looking here at XY axis. Many of you have seen this time and time again, though I couldn't squeeze in those numbers in the small space provided. You should know that the x-axis is the independent axis here. Where did my mouse go? There we are. So we're independent axis, and y is dependent on what x is. Okay, that's what it means on y is a function of x. So depending on what x is, you can plug into your function to figure out what y is. And then once you have an x and a y, those are referred to as ordered pairs. And the way you plot an ordered pair, for instance, point 2, 3, you'd go out 2 in the x direction, and then go up 3 in the y direction, and then put a point, and that would be the ordered pair 2, 3. If you were doing the ordered pair -5, -4, you would go first always in the x direction, and then down in the y. Would you end up in the same place if you did it the other way? Yes, actually you would. So I just usually go in the x direction, and then the y. The first number is always the x. Second number is always the y. Well, actually, -4 is up here, not down there. Let's do that again. Sorry, it's 1 a.m. I'm a little tired. So this point would be -5, still looks a little low. -4. There you go, that's a little bit better. So now that we've discussed what points are, ordered pairs, let's move on. You plot where x, y meet. We just did that. Let's look at vertical lines. So a vertical line has the same x value. No matter what y is, x is always the same numerical value. Let's look at this vertical line of x equals 5. You see how at this point 5, 10, 5, 0, this is the x-intercept. That's where it touches the x-axis. 5, -2, or 5, -4. All those values for x are 5. And if we were to find the slope of that line, which we haven't really talked about the slope yet, but the slope is basically the slant of the line. You do the change in the y's over the change in the x's. And if whatever 2 points you chose to pick, you would get a number for the y answer. But since in this case, this number down here, these are both going to be 5s. So 5 minus 5 would be 0, and a number over 0 is undefined. Okay? So that would let you know it's a vertical line. So if the question is, what is the equation of the vertical line that goes through the point 5, 10, you would just write down x equals 5, or 5, 0, it would be x equals 5, because the value of the x in your ordered pair is the equation of the line, x equals 5. And by the same token, if we had a horizontal line, it would be y equals that number, the y value, because y is always that number, no matter what x becomes. Like in this case, y equals -4 is the line. So we have one y value of that. The intercept is, y-intercept is 0, -4, and then this point again. So you can see that, oops, no, that was right. So we were looking at the different x values, and the y values stayed the same, I guess. Let's emphasize that point. So because the y values are staying the same, if we were to look at the slope formula and slant, both of these are going to be the same -4 value, which would give you 0 for number, minus or over the difference of the two x values, which would give you 0. Okay? So if you were asked, what is the equation of the line that goes to the point -5, -4, and has no slope, 0 slope? Well, you would just go to that -4 value right here, and you would say y equals -4. Okay? We'll revisit that concept later on when we do some example questions. Here are some basic straight line equations. The slope formula we just witnessed, it's the i's over the run, changing the x's over the change in the y's, and you need 2 points in order to do that. So try to keep them the same. Don't mix match the x values. Then the next equation is the slope-intercept equation. This is usually what we're asked for our answers to be in. So if you're given the slope and the y-intercept, that's when you use that. And then here is the point slope equation, and that's usually my starting point when I deal with these. And you plug in for x1, y1 only, the x and the y's, and then you plug in your slope, m, okay? So those are the basic equations of a line, and just remember, quick little side note, parallel lines have the same slope, perpendicular lines have negative reciprocal slopes. So you flip the sign, you flip the fraction and change the sign. So this is the foundation for a lot of the graphing stuff that you're going to get started on, and then we'll get into more complex functions later. So go back through this video if you need to and take notes, and make sure you check out the example videos. I hope I've cleared up any confusion that you might have. Thank you. Oh, don't forget to practice, practice, practice. Thank you, and have a nice day.